Hey there, Chef D Malfi here, and welcome to Plant-Based Made Easy. Happy Monday. I know that there's a lot of anxiety in the air right now, looming because of this election that's happening tomorrow here in the United States. And so today I thought I might do something a little different. Now, I've been thinking about how can I change up the month of November and December and possibly even January by adding some newness into our episodes. So today we're going to do that. We're going to make our wonderful recipe. Today I'm going to show you how to make cornmeal hazelnut cinnamon pancakes. These are so delicious and so easy. And then we're going to finish the episode with a simple 1-minute meditation. And the reason I'm doing this is because for the last 15 years, I call this day my Mindful Monday. It's something that I've always kind of committed to on my own personally, but now I want to bring it into my work and my brand. So I'm going to bring it to you today, and I'm going to guide you in a 1-minute meditation, not just for you, but for your whole family and for me and my family as well, so that I can feel a little bit more balanced as I go through the today and get through tomorrow and the rest of the week. Sound good? All right, so if you're new here, please say hello in the comment box. And if you have any questions along the way, please let a sister know. You can type anything that you want in the comment box, and I want to answer all your questions about plant-based eating and living, and talk about even maybe potentially how this election is impacted by the food that we eat. So let's get started, all right? I'm going to make some cinnamon cornmeal pancakes. These are really yummy and, like I said, very easy to do and very nutrient dense. So if you haven't done so already, please download the November Plant-Based Made Easy cookbook. And today I'm going to just share a screen with you so that you can kind of see what it looks like if you haven't downloaded it yet, or if you have, you can follow along with me. And I'm just going to show you. So today we are featuring this recipe, cinnamon cornmeal pancakes. This is a wonderful recipe. It serves a family, about 4 people, and it really takes about 25 minutes or less. So I'm going to get started. Here's everything that you'll need. Let me just explain the ingredients. A little plant milk, which if you don't want to buy, I include a staple recipe in the cookbook for you. And I use a coconut cashew plant milk that I make once a week in my home. And it is so delicious. It's like whole, thick, creamy milk. It tastes even better than cow's milk. So we're going to use a cup of this with a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar to make a little buttermilk. And then we're going to add maple syrup, a little vanilla extract, and we're going to make a dry mix, a dry ingredient mix of all-purpose flour or whole wheat flour, or even gluten-free flour will work. Mix in with a little cornmeal, and I'm going to use stone ground cornmeal that's really yummy and super organic and really nutrient dense in and of itself. I'll talk about that. I'm also going to use baking powder, baking soda, a little salt, and a little cinnamon. And then I'm going to chop up some Oregon hazelnuts, really yummy, delicious hazelnuts. I have these huge, super flavorful Oregon hazelnuts right now here. They're seasonal. They're really great this time of year. We're going to mix this chopped nuts into the batter, and then we'll cook them on my pancake griddle. So let's get started. Oops. There we go. All right, so the first thing that we need is a cup of plant milk. So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to grab a cup measure as well. And I make my plant milk in an almond cow. It's a plant milk maker, which I really love. But if you don't have an almond cow machine, that's okay. You can make it by hand in a high-speed blender, and then you can actually pour your milk mixture, your soaked nuts and water, soaked nuts or seeds and water, through a nut milk bag if you don't have a machine to help you out. But I like the machine because you get both the nut pulp and the milk, and you can use everything. You don't have to waste anything. Now, the next ingredient that we'll use is a little raw apple cider vinegar, which I absolutely love. And I'm using raw apple cider vinegar for 2 reasons. When it's raw, you get more of the nutrients from the mother. And this is the live organism that's floating on the bottom. You can see it here, right? A lot of people sometimes get apple cider vinegar and then they're like, oh no, my jar went bad. It didn't go bad. You actually do want to see that mother element. That is a good indicator that you have really potent apple cider vinegar. And this is going to give you a really good boost of good bacteria right in your gut. So that's why we love apple cider vinegar. It's really good for our gut microbiome, our gut brain, basically just the inside of our belly. It's going to just give us a ton of those good, really good bacterias. So I'm going to use just a teaspoon of this. Give it a mix because I want a little mother in every bit that I pour out. And then I'm going to use a teaspoon, and I'm just going to measure it and pour it right in. You definitely want to measure this. Don't eyeball it because you don't want like a tablespoon or 2, or just you don't want too much of the apple cider vinegar in the milk, because it actually will curdle and it will actually get a little bit sour if you add too much. So measure that out. And then you're gonna let this sit for about, I don't know, 5 minutes or so, yeah? Oh, I did it in the wrong bowl, darn it. All right, well, good thing I have another. I like to use the clear bowl so that you can follow along with me and kind of see everything that's going down. So I don't need that bowl. Yeah, let's do a question. All right. Sisette says, how can you make the milk more creamy? All right, this is a really good question. So one of the coolest things about making plant milk, unlike eating or drinking animal milk, is that you can actually change the consistency by using different nuts and seeds. So Sisette, if you really like creamy milk, I would say for you, opt in for making plant milk from macadamia nuts, cashews, raw, unroasted, regular macadamia nuts or cashews. These two are going to give you the creamiest milks that there is of the plant milk variety. And those are really good. I really love macadamia milk because it's going to be thicker and actually more kind of akin to cream or half and half. And then cashews are going to give you more of a creamy kind of whole milk vibe. So depending on your preference, you can change your consistency by doing different types of nuts and seeds and blending different types of nuts and seeds, not just for flavor, but for viscosity. I love that question. Thank you so much for asking. All right, cool. Caroline, Rocky, good to see you. Cheryl Beaker, I'm so glad that you're here. Diane, it's always a pleasure. Yay. Okay, Caroline, she was looking at cornmeal this morning in her pantry wondering what to do. Sister, I've got you covered. All right, so now let's make our dry ingredient mix, right here in our book, in our bowl and out of our cookbook. I'm going to use some flour. Now, I really love whole grain, stone ground, whole wheat pastry flour. It's my favorite. I love the whole grain flour for 2 reasons. Number one, I love that it has a really nutty flavor. And number two, I like that it has more fiber. The reason that I like that it has more fiber is that I know that I'm going to probably enjoy these cornmeal pancakes so much that I'm just going to want to eat the entire, batch that I make that serves supposed to be serving 4. But if I include whole wheat flour in the dry mix, it's going to keep me feeling fuller for a lot longer. So I'm probably going to be able to share some of these pancakes with other people that are going to be joining me. So I'm going to use 3/4 of a cup of all-purpose flour or whole wheat or gluten-free flour. And I actually want to show you the gluten-free flour that I like. Here's the version that I usually use if I'm using gluten-free. I'm not going to use it today, but I just wanted to show you. This is 1-to-1 and it's fantastic. It's Bob's Red Mill. All right, so 3/4 of a cup. And then I'm going to use 1/2 a cup of cornmeal. Okay, there we go. Put this aside. All right, so 1/2 a cup of cornmeal. I'm using medium grind cornmeal. This is all organic and it is a whole grain. So this is really good stuff. It's also stone ground. It's going to give you a nice crunch and texture to your pancakes, which is fantastic. And I'm going to use 1/2 a cup. I don't recommend doing all cornmeal for these pancakes because they tend to be a little too heavy. So definitely blend of flour and cornmeal, all right? All right, now I need some leavening agents. I want both in this case, so I'm going to use a little baking powder, 1.5 teaspoons, and a little baking soda. Now's a good time to get your pancake griddle on. You can see that I have mine right here, right next to me. I'm going to use a little bit of baking powder here. And then a little bit of the baking soda as well. Perfect. And then some salt. I use 1/2 teaspoon of sea salt, and I love just the regular sea salt because it's nice and fluffy and it's wonderful. And then 1/2 teaspoon of organic cinnamon or any cinnamon that you love. I just love that Trader Joe's is featuring the organic cinnamon this year. This is new for them. I absolutely love it for many, many reasons, but mostly because I can feel safe that what I'm eating, especially spices, tend to be sprayed with a lot of herbicides and pesticides. I'm not going to be able to get this off. So here we go. We're going to eyeball it. 1/2 teaspoon. There we go. All right. Now I'm going to go back to my buttermilk a second, come back to it, and just take a look at it a little bit. You can see it's probably hard to see in the camera, but this is curdling, just little tiny curdles around the surface here. This is exactly what I want. I know that I've done a great job when it starts to curdle. So to this, I'm going to add 1/4 cup of maple syrup. which I'm sorry for being late. You guys, the reason I was late is because my maple syrup fell to the ground. The bottle did not break, but I lost this a little bit. And so now I'm using I don't know, a cork. So a quarter of a cup goes right in. And this is a wet ingredient, so I'm adding it to my buttermilk now. Yeah, so I'm separating my wet and my dry ingredients. And then last but certainly not least, another flavor agent, so important. I really want you to use some really high quality. Oh goodness, my cork doesn't want to stay. Well, that's okay. I might be enjoying maple syrup for the rest of the day because I can't close it. All right, back to it. Flavor agent, I want you to get some high quality vanilla extract. If you're looking for a good recommendation, I want you to hop on my Amazon shop. You can see all of my favorite ingredients as well as all of my kitchen equipment. I even have my pancake griddle on there. I absolutely love certain ingredients. I'm one of these people that go crazy for getting just the right ingredient or piece of equipment or the smallware that I need that's going to set me up for success and make everything even better. So in this case, in terms of food and ingredients, I want pure vanilla extract. And I really want, if you can, opt in for the alcohol-free version. Now, why? I like that they use vegetable glycerin as opposed to alcohol. I myself don't enjoy alcohol. I don't drink it at all. I really don't even like to drink it in moderation. Like I don't even like it if it's added as an ingredient in food. And for vanilla extract, when it's alcohol-free, you get more of that vanilla essence. So I'm going to use 1 teaspoon of this. And I have a really good vanilla extract that's alcohol-free on my page on Amazon. So check that out if you're interested. And then I'm just going to give this a mix. Cool. And I'm going to make sure I haven't forgotten anything. We got the plant milk. We got the apple cider vinegar, maple syrup, vanilla extract. We got the all-purpose flour. We have the cornmeal, baking soda, baking powder, salt, cinnamon. And now, last but not least, we have to combine these. But first, I need to chop my hazelnuts. I did not do that ahead of time because I wanted to show you. Here are my wonderful hazelnuts. These are dry roasted and unsalted. These are Oregon hazelnuts. Now, like I said, these are seasonal. They are in season right now, this time of year. It's kind of a Thanksgiving or a November, December treat. I absolutely love Oregon hazelnuts. You can see right away. Check out the cutting board that I have them on. They're big, much bigger than the traditional hazelnut. They're really big, and some of them have a really nice dark skin, which is extra fiber. Fiber is my friend. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm not going to try to remove it. It's good stuff. So I'm just going to leave it. And I'm just going to make room so that I can get my elbow into this. I got this new cutting board with this really cool blade here. And I'm just going to chop this up. Let's see if this works. Yeah, it's really good for this is actually an herb cutter. So it's great to place herbs down and give it a quick chop before you throw it into whatever you're cooking. But I like it for nuts too because it's concave. So the nuts don't really roll off like they would, except for that one, like they would if it was a flat surface. So I like that it kind of stays within this little cup, this little circular concave. This is great. This is easy to do with this blade. You can kind of just rock it back and forth. Now, I don't mind kind of larger chunks of hazelnuts. I kind of like it. It makes it really interesting. And I like interesting pancakes with different consistencies. And I like a little crunch factor in my pancake because it makes it just more dynamic. And my palate likes it interesting. Your palate does too. So the more interesting and different and dynamic we can make our food, the more we will feel nourished. It is very true. Some people get stuck in a rut with flavor and texture. And one of the best and easiest ways to get out of a rut is to add things that will give you texture and different flavor that you're not necessarily used to, and just experiment with it. Allow your palate to kind of adapt to new kind of varieties, flavors, textures, consistencies, all of that. All right, this looks fantastic. Perfect. All right, so now I'm gonna pour the dry mix into the wet mix, and then I will add my hazelnuts. Yeah, let's do a question. All right, Cheryl asks, can you use almond flour or chickpea flour? All right, so you could use almond flour. My guess is, Cheryl, I've never made it with almond flour, but here's my guess. It's probably going to actually turn out a little softer than if you used any type of wheat flour that has gluten. That protein, gluten, is going to actually keep these from being overly soft, because cornmeal can tend to be kind of soft, and it's going to actually give you a nice kind of chewy, kind of spongy quality. Almond flour, because it doesn't have gluten, it's completely just nuts that are pulverized. It's not going to give you kind of that sponginess, so it's going to just be softer. I think the other thing that you asked was chickpea flour, also known as gram flour, depending on where you live in the world. You can use chickpea flour, but here's the thing about chickpea flour. It actually has a really kind of robust flavor. So if you're not used to that flavor, just kind of know that you're going to be adding a different flavor element to this dish. You can definitely add more cinnamon, or you can just enjoy and appreciate the chickpea flour as it is in your pancakes. That would be fine. Just make sure you like that flavor before you go on and add about a half, 1.5, 1.25 cups. All right, but you definitely want the cornmeal. That's the star of the show. Thank you for the question. All right, cool. Penny asks, I don't like the grainy texture of cornmeal. Is there an alternative? All right, so if you don't like the grainy texture of cornmeal, two things I want to say. This is a medium grind that I'm using, but if you wanted to actually make this a little bit softer and more like flour, you can actually pop this right into a food processor. So we use just a little bit today, half a cup. Just pop in a half a cup into your food processor, give it a pulse until it looks like whole wheat, kind of a yellowish whole wheat or all-purpose flour. Obviously, it's just still going to be cornmeal. It's going to have that corny kind of flavor, that sweeter flavor, but you'll actually you'll actually make it a very kind of all like floury. What am I saying? You're going to make it a more soft, small, fine grain, so it's not going to be as coarse. And then if you don't want cornmeal at all, like you could absolutely just remove the cornmeal and do all whole wheat pastry flour. You could do a mix of whole wheat pastry flour and all-purpose flour. That will give you kind of just a little bit of a nuttiness, and that could be good for you as well. And like Cheryl said, if you haven't met Cheryl yet, I want to just, Penny, introduce you to Cheryl because she has a lot to offer when it comes to using almond flour and nut flours. You could try using blanched almond flour or almond meal, which is just almonds pulsed in a food processor. That would be fantastic. All right, so I've got that mixed up. I'm going to pour my wet into my dry. Perfect. Give this a mix. Oh, that buttermilk. It like really got nice and tangy and curdly. This looks great. Oh, you know what you could also use, Penny? I just remembered. You could use something like cream of wheat or oat bran, these are both hot cereals, like really great in pancake mixes and muffin mixes. I very often use like oat bran, which is the hot cereal, in my muffins. I often will use that because I like the nuttiness and I like the kind of fibrous flavor. So that could be an option for you. Yeah, you definitely want to be careful about over mixing the batter because remember, it does contain wheat flour. And when we over mix the batter, when it contains wheat flour, we can actually over process the gluten, and we don't want to do that. We really don't want to do that because then we'll get really kind of tough pancakes. So throw in your 1/4 cup of your hazelnuts. Yummy. And you can see this kind of, it looks like has that yellow tint from the cornmeal. It also has the kind of vanilla essence tint and also has like a speckle from cinnamon. This looks fantastic. This looks really, really good. All right, so now all we need to do is pour it onto a hot griddle, which I'm going to spray with a little bit of coconut oil spray. This right here is a dash griddle, which I really love. I like to do this because I can use both sides. I'm just going to give this a spray. And I can get more pancakes down at a time, which is fantastic. And I'm going to use a ladle. This is the best way to make pancakes is with a little ladle here. And you want your pancake griddle high or your pan medium high. And your pancake griddle should have a light indicating when it's ready. And mine is ready. So let's go. Just kind of pour it down. And I think it's like a half a cup or so, probably each ladle. It doesn't matter though. You can make these silver dollars. You can make a Mickey pancakes. You can make a huge giant pancake. It truly doesn't matter. Oh gosh, I haven't had cornmeal pancakes in a long time. And I thought, okay, for this month's pancake recipe, what are we doing? And immediately I was like, oh man, I remembered making Johnny hotcakes. in school when I was a kid. And I always remember that was our like Thanksgiving intro to Thanksgiving. And we would learn about the pilgrims. And we would make cornmeal kind of like hotcakes, but they were kind of thick and they had corn in them. And I was reminiscing and I thought, okay, I'm going to reinvent this here. Okay, this looks great. So I'm going to do 4 on each griddle. And same rule applies, even though we're using cornmeal and we're using a little bit of whole wheat pastry flour, we still want to look for the pancake indicators that will indicate to us, like, when is it ready to flip? Well, one of the ways we know is that it starts to actually get kind of bubbly around the edges. But see here, you can see that it's only like kind of bubbly right here or bubbly right here or right here. Really, we need to see bubbles around the entire circumference, and then we know it is good to flip. Manisha, hello. Good to see you and good to have you. I'm so glad that you guys are here. Yeah, awesome. All right, so you can actually top your pancakes with some more maple syrup, maybe some plant butter. I love vegan Miyoko's butter. Let me show you. Here it is, my favorite. Absolutely. You need to stock up right now. I would say for November, I just bought like 3 of these boxes because I know that I'm about to do a lot of baking. And I know that I'm about to like veganize any recipe that comes my way for Thanksgiving and for Hanukkah and for Christmas. So I'm very excited to have vegan butter. Oh, if you guys didn't know this, also Miyoko's is the maker here. She's the creamery out in Sonoma, California. She's also a wonderful cook in her own right. And Chef Miyoko just recently worked with legislation to get cultured vegan butter on her boxes. And this was not how it was always labeled. So I was really excited about that. This just happened over the last month. So it's very exciting for the vegan community. All right. So I think, let me just check here. How are we doing? Cornmeal cakes here. All right. Well, some of these look good. This one's looking mighty yummy. I'm just going to try to flip this if I can. Yeah. I have a heat resistant spatula that I'm using, so I'm going to get right in under it and then give it a good flip. Look at how gorgeous. Come on. Yeah. And I love this griddle. It's so easy to use. It's great for, you can actually even make a pizza in here, you guys, because it closes. It's wonderful. You can make lots of different things. Flatbread. We've done veggie burgers on here. Oh, that one. Okay, well, I can't I can't fix that now, but I will in a second. This looks fantastic. This side is looking a little, yeah, this side needs a little bit more time. I don't think this side is as hot as the top. All right, well, while this is going, all right, I just wanted to come back to you while this continues. I'm going to read something to you. I found this really kind of interesting, and I wanted to talk to you about how our food choices and the way that we eat is related to our future and even the election that is happening tomorrow. So I found a really kind of cool little piece written by the Food Revolution Network. The Food Revolution Network is by John Robbins and Ocean Robbins. They own the Food Revolution Network, and it is a plant-based community where they teach people the power of the economy and politics and society and culture. And they not only teach you actually how to cook some foods and really get really comfortable in the kitchen, much like what we do here, but they also go a little deeper and they talk about kind of what you can do to be an advocate for change in your neighborhood and then for the society at large, for the whole world. And they wrote a wonderful little piece about the election. So I want to just read a little bit of it. And I'm just going to pull it up here so you can see it if you'd like. And if you can take this and actually go and find it on the internet if you're interested. Okay, here it is. So your food choices could be your most powerful vote of all. With every bite you take, you can vote for the health you want and for the world you want. The impact of the vote transcends ideology, worldview, and politics. And at the end of the day, the chronic diseases that are killing tens of millions of people every year, that's cancer, heart disease, stroke, diabetes, dementia, don't care what political party you're affiliated with, but they do care and care a great deal about what you eat. Everybody needs foods to live, and everybody needs healthy food to be healthy. It goes on to talk about the Food Revolution Network and their community. And they also mentioned that the truth is that they stand for, and I stand for, and I think you do too, how we eat, including how food is grown, how it's processed, who has access to healthy food and who doesn't, and how healthy we are as a people and as a nation. This will all be impacted by the results of our election. We believe that a healthy democracy depends on the active participation of the citizenry like a muscle. It gets stronger when we use it. So it is in the spirit that we share the below statement about food policy issues signed by a diverse range of health and wellness leaders. This is written by John Robbins and Ocean Robbins. I'm not going to read the collective statement, but I really highly recommend you do if you want to read it. It's just foodrevolution.org, foodrevolution.org /blog/food-policy-issues-statement, and you will find it. We can pop this into the chat here, and I will do that right now. But it's wonderful, and I just want to kind of run down to the bottom. Here's the list of signers. There are incredible people that signed this list, and this is the reason why this captured my attention. It's signed by Mark Bittman, the food journalist, Zach Bush, the soil scientist and doctor, the founder of Farmer's Footprint, so many, Dr. Estelin, Christy Funk, let's see, who else? David Katz, doctor and the president of True Health Initiative. So there's a really cool amount of people on here that believe in a lot of what this, in everything that they're saying here in this collective statement. So read that if you want, and I'm just going to put this right here in the comment box. There you go. All right, let me check these on this side. Oh yeah, now they're ready. Flip these. Cool. All right. Well, I think it's time to plate. Let me get a cute little plate here, and I will plate a few. I'm going this one. And this one. This one definitely, this side cooks a little faster. How gorgeous are these, right? They're so beautiful. I'm just going to show you the color before I douse them in a little maple syrup. Why not? Oh my gosh, yum. All right. You could even do a little sprinkling more of cinnamon, which I'm definitely going to do. And then maybe some hazelnuts just to indicate what's in them. If you wanted, you could put a little plant-based yogurt. I have a recipe for you in my cookbook if you're curious. I need to give these a taste. Let's taste these, you guys. Make sure they're good. Before I do, I want to give this food a little gratitude. I almost forgot. I get so excited. Thank you, food. Thank you, community. Thank you, God. Here we go. Oh, yeah. Little maple syrup. Yes. I love cornmeal. These are so good. Now, I know that a couple of you said you might not like to add cornmeal because of the texture and the consistency, but try these. Just try it. I'm telling you, I think you're going to really like it. These are super yummy. Okay, I need one more bite. And then let's do a minute meditation just to ground ourselves. One more bite, though, just because I have to. Hello. Sagar, it's good to see you. We have Sagar visiting here from Periscope. Excuse me when I'm speaking with my mouth full. So good. Yummy. No, I'm so glad that you're here from Periscope. Thank you for being here. All right, friends, let's just ground ourselves for a second. If you can, wherever you are, please just like take a few deep breaths with me, will you? I'm just going to get grounded. I'm just going to do a minute meditation here. Close your eyes if you can. And as you close your eyes, just be grateful for the breath that you're breathing in and you're breathing out. Become familiar with your breath. Let it be natural. Let it be at ease. And as you think about the next 48 hours, think about your anxiety and then let it go. Breathing in and breathing out. As you think about the election and you think about what may happen, remember to breathe. And remember that we just have this one moment right now, and then the next, and then the next. And anything that you're feeling, just release it and let it go. All right, let's finish this minute by breathing in a few more deep breaths, filling your lungs, and then exhaling all the way out. Let's do one more big breath as we wrap up together. Hold your breath at the top and then release. When you're ready, you can open your eyes, come back to your awareness. I don't know about you, but I feel better already. Even that 1 minute, it does a big difference. I hope that helped you. And at any point, if you're thinking, okay, I'm starting to feel it, come back to your breath. I'm committing to doing that over the next few days and over the next week, actually. And I hope that you'll commit with me. So thank you so much for being here today. Please make these delicious pancakes. Breathe, enjoy life, be in the present moment, and we are going to get through this together. I love you all, and I'll see you tomorrow. Peace.